PDV4 ready? RTVM ready? Oh, let's go. Good afternoon. We are in Sara, Iloilo for the first ever palace briefing in Sara, Iloilo. As you know, in a few minutes, the President will be arriving to condole with the family, with the Dimafiles family, no? Um, and the primary message of the Philippines, as you know, is that it was the death of Sarah, no? Anong first name? Joanna. It was the fate of Dimafiles that led to the ban on the deployment of Filipino overseas workers to Kuwait, because the president says that he gives primary consideration to the welfare and safety of our overseas Filipino workers rather than the economic gains. No? The status right now is that the deployment ban remains, and we are hopeful that while the negotiations are ongoing for a bilateral agreement that would protect the rights of migrant workers in Kuwait, that ties will normalize when this agreement is finally agreed upon by both countries. No? Now, let me proceed to some good news. The first cancer institute in Western Visayas was opened, was approved only recently. The Development Bank of the Philippines recently approved a 259 million term loan to Medicus Cancer Institute, Inc., the first cancer institute in Western Visayas. With this loan, the Medicus Cancer Institute, Inc. will soon be able to deliver better treatment and support to cancer patients in the region. Incidentally, before I proceed, I'm joined by Congressman Richard Garin of the First District of Iloilo. Now, another good news, we laud the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines for passing the Universal Safety Oversight Audit Program conducted by the International Civil Aviation Organization. CAAP scored an overall rating of 69.68%, which is above the world average of 64.85%. This exhibits a significant 10.77 improvement from 2016's overall rating of 58.91. The score indicates CAAP's improvement in its effective implementation and the country's better compliance with international safety standards. We're pleased to announce also that the electronic industry's exports reached $32.7 billion in 2017, an 11% increase from exports in 2016. According to the Semiconductor and Electronics Industry in the Philippine Foundation, Inc., the Philippines exceeded twofold its expected growth of 5 to 6% in 2017 when its actual sales reached 11%. The electronics industry accounted for 52% of the 62.87 billion total merchandise exports in 2017. Now, the Philippine mainstream media yesterday bannered a clickbait headline describing the president as a threat to democracy or a regional threat. I responded when asked during a live phone patch interview by saying that we view this with concern. Later on with the day, with the relevant information on the issue forwarded to me by my staff, I prepared and issued a statement responsive to the pertinent portion of the U.S. intelligence community's report on the Philippines under the administration and or governance of President Rodrigo Duterte. In particular, we described as myopic and speculative its reference to the president suspending the Constitution, declaring revolutionary government, and imposing nationwide martial law. I hope this clarifies this matter. Now, are there questions from local media, or can I go ahead and read the questions from Manila? Yes, please. Use the mic, please, because you need to be heard. Ayan, isang mic na lang for the question.
Good afternoon, Mr. Secretary. I'm Action Mario Hilongo of Action Radio Iloilo. May tanong lang, mayroon na po ba tayong update with regards to the case of Joanna Dimafiles?
Well, I followed the Senate hearing yesterday. Apparently, the Lebanese employer are still at large. We're hoping that Kuwaiti authorities can give justice to Joanna and her family. Again, the position under international law is that Joanna should be treated in the same manner as all nationals of Kuwait. And under international law, Kuwait is duty-bound to give Joanna's family adequate domestic remedy under Kuwaiti law, meaning it should be investigated, prosecuted, and the perpetrators punished at the soonest time possible.
With regards sa hingi ng pamilya, mayroong apat na hinihingi ang pamilya. Number one, yung justice. Secondly, na matubos yung naisanla na lupa. Third, ang papapatapos kay Joyce Di Mafiles, yung youngest nila, at saka mapapatapos yung bahay nila, secretary. So, is it possible na maibigay po ito ng gobyerno?
As to first the justice, the Philippine government will actively espouse the right of the family of Joannes to obtain justice. The Lebanese employers must be caught, prosecuted, and punished. And we will take this up as a matter of obligation. No? That is what is meant by espousal. As to the other assistance to be extended to Joanna, I am sure the government is able and ready to provide all these assistance. But I will wait for the President to make the declaration on all the benefits that will be given to Joanna's family. If there are no local questions, let me proceed. Deo de Guzman of DXL RMN, with the indefinite extension of the tour of duty of PNP Chief Bato, does this mean that President Duterte does not trust any PNP general except for General Bato? My answer is the President has expressed absolute trust and confidence on General Bato. Let's leave it at that. From Leila Salveria of Inquirer, sir, you said you were concerned about the U.S. intel assessment about President Duterte and maintained the U.S. attempt to unseat the government in Nicaragua. What do you think about the effect or consequences from this assessment of the U.S. intel community? Are you saying it will seek to unseat this President Duterte as well or undermine this government? As I said, I was made to comment on a clickbait which turned out to be untrue. There was no assessment of the U.S. intel community that the President was in any way a threat to democracy or freedom. However, I issued a statement on the U.S. intel report's statement that the President might declare martial law throughout the country or declare a revolutionary government. As I said, we described this as being myopic and speculative. From Leila again, good AM, sir. You said the President banned Rappler because the President accused Rappler of publishing fake news. Joint groups have said this is an attack on freedom of the press and have a chilling effect on media. Leila, as I said, ang nangyari rito, pinapapasok ang Rappler, si Pia, sa tahanan ng Presidente. Dahil ang Malacanang naman po ay tahanan ng Presidente. E nabastos po ang Presidente kasi hindi lang nag-fake news ang Rappler, pinagpilitan pa na katotohanan ng kanyang fake news matapos ang investigasyon ng Senado. Yung pagpapatuloy po ng coverage ni Pia Ranada at Rappler, ito po ay tinutulan na ng napakadaming abogado sa Malacanang matapos sabihin ng SEC na kontrolado ng dayuhan ang Rappler. Pinagpatuloy nga lang po yan ng Presidente dahil malapit sa kanya itong si Pia. Pero ito pong pagpipilitan niya sa kanyang fake news, bagamat na-establish na sa Senado na wala talagang katotohanan, yan po talaga ang naging dahilan kung bakit tuluyan ng pinagbawal si Pia at ang Rappler sa Malacanang. Kayo naman po, sa sarili niyong tahanan, babastusin kayo ng bisita. Masisisi niyo ba kung palalabasin sa tahanan niyo yung ng babastos? Ganon din po ang Presidente. Now, for the question of Leila, doesn't this send a message to the media who want to actually cover the President must only produce stories that make him happy? Does this mean that any news org that displeases him through his story runs risk of being banned? How do you reconcile the ban with the President himself recognizing adversarial nature of media's job? Una, Leila, wala pong mabuting nasulat ang Rappler. Hindi naman po binan sa Malacanang. Naban lang sila dahil nagpipilitan sila na totoo daw ang storya na napatunayan ng fake news. Hindi ka naman ganyan, Leila. Hindi ka mababan. Does this mean that we must only produce stories that make him happy? Diyos ko po, kung totoo yan, Eh di matagal nang naba ng Inquirer at ang Rappler dahil wala naman po mabuting balita na na-publish ang Rappler at saka Inquirer. Eh isa't taon at kalahati na po ang presidente sa Malacanang, hindi naman sila naban until dito sa pagpipilit na fake news at saka yung desisyon nga ng SEC. Ang Inquirer, Pilipinong-Pilipino naman talaga, so walang ganyang issue. Does this mean that any news org that displeases him through his stories runs the risk of being banned from Malacanang? Bihira po ang magagandang write-up kay Presidente. Hindi naman po kayo nababan. How do you reconcile the ban with the President himself recognizing the adversarial nature of the media's job? I repeat po, unang-una, dayuhan ang Rappler. Pangalawa, pinagpilitan pang katotohanan ng fake news. Alam nyo, kung na fake news at siguro nag-acknowledge na lang sila ng errata o nagkamali sila, walang problema. Pero yung pagpipilitan mo na katotohanan ng napatunayan ng fake news, pagbabastos po yun, at ulitin ko, tahanan naman yan ng Presidente. From Henry Uri, patanong po kung sang-ayon ng Malacanang sa proposal ni Senator Nancy Binay na ipapagbawal na totally ang pagpapadala ng DH sa Middle East. Eh pag-aaralan po yan. Basta ang sabi ng Presidente, pangunahing interes ng Estado ang pangalagaan po ang karapatang mabuhay at ang karapatang pantao ng mga Pilipino na nagtatrabaho sa iba't ibang parte ng daigdig. At ito nga pong deployment ban sa Kuwait, ito po ay nagpapakita na mas importante sa atin ang katauhan ng ating mga mamamayan kaysa dun sa kikitain nila sa mga bansang umaabuso sa ating mga kababayan. From Vivian of ABS-CBN, may get Palace's comment on the ICT statement that he won't be able to announce a third Kelco by March as the President wanted. Is the President amenable to the ICT? May timeline? Or will he insist on having it next month? Eh siguro po overtaken na tayo by events. No? Ang pagkakaintindi ko, OIC Del Rio has had to move the deadlines because it's physically impossible to meet them. The President did not approve of the extension, pero I think the turn of events will eventually make it necessary to move the deadlines. From Rosalie Cos of UNTV, ano po ang program ng government sa anniversary ng EDSA People Power Revolution? Ano rin po ang panawagan o reaksyon ng Malacanang sa mga grupong magsasagawa ng anti-government protest sa araw na iyon? Will the celebration be simple this year until the end of President Duterte? Bakit po? Well, it's celebrated. As you know, it is a public holiday. And as far as the President is concerned, people have the right to resort to the right to peaceful assembly. Hindi po yan sinusupil. So we welcome any and all protests on that day. From Vivian again, may nag-send na po ng question about expanded ban on Rappler to cover the entire Malacanang Palace. Well, I confirm po, PIA is no longer allowed into the Malacanang complex. From Pia Ranada of Rappler, according to Office of Ombudsman, they terminated probe into PRRD's wealth because AMLAC refused to cooperate. Did Malacanang have anything to do with AMLAC's refusal? Does PRRD's threats versus AMLAC officials before have any impact on AMLAC's cooperation with Ombudsman? Ask AMLAC, Pia. Why are you asking us to comment on something that we did not decide on? Obviously, you need to ask AMLAC. As far as the palace is concerned, the Ombudsman has the constitutional power to open any and all bank accounts, which it did during the time of impeachment of Chief Justice Renato Corona. Nagpapatunay lang po na yung pagbabasura sa reklamo tungkol sa di umunong tagong yaman ni Presidente PRRD ay wala pong basehan. No basis in law or in fact. From Jen Kabiling of Manila Bulletin, will Philippine government formally protest the U.S. Intel report tagging President Duterte as a democratic threat? Do you consider the U.S. report a setback on Philippine-U.S. ties? Will the government review whether or not to continue the Carter's strategic partnership with its defense ally? Well, Jen, apparently, clickbait po yung napabalita sa lahat ng mainstream media. Ulitin ko po, hindi naman siya fake news kasi talagang sinabi ng Intel Department na baka magdeklara ng martial law sa buong Pilipinas at baka magdeklara ng RevGon. Pero yung sinasabi na binansagan daw ang Pangulong Duterte na threat to democracy in Southeast Asia, clickbait po yon, walang katuturan, so hindi na natin sasagutin ang tanong ni Jen Kabilang. From Leila, follow-up sana sa second question ko, the DND Secretary condemned the PSG chief's threat to reporters and his statement that they should be happy they weren't harmed. They persistently asked questions from an officer. The PSG chief is standing on his ground. What does the Commander-in-Chief have to say about this? Hindi ko po alam kung anong sinabi ng PSG chief. Hindi ko po narinig. Pero ang presidente po, wala po kami kahit sinong sinusupil. Wala po kaming sinesensor. Kung talagang sinesensor po kami, bakit walang tigil ang banat ng Inquirer at ng Rappler sa presidente? Hindi po namin kinukondena ang kahit anong paggamit ng dahas labang sa sibilyan, pero wala pong ganyang nangyari. If at all, ang nakita natin sa television ay kinuyog ng mga reporters yung kaisa-isahang PSG na nagbabantay sa gate ng Malacanang. From Eileen Taliping of Abante News, pahingi po ng reacts. Manny Pangilinan accuses President Duterte of lying. PLDT Smart never asked 3 billion for frequency. Hindi ko po alam if Manny Pangilinan in fact accused the President of lying. I will not comment on chismis. From RJ Balimbin of Business World, baka may details po kung anong outcome ng President nila President Duterte at Japanese conglomerates kahapon po. I have a prepared statement on this and I will read it. The President thanked Japan for their wholehearted support to his government programs and to the humanitarian assistance they have extended to the Filipino people. He pledged his commitment to ensure that Japan projects will receive attention free of bureaucratic delays, whether government to government or business to business. The President welcomed partnerships between and among the Philippine conglomerates and Japanese conglomerates for infrastructure and trade. He supports a market-driven economy and he wants his government to be fair and effective. From Virgil Lopez of GMA News Online, the House of Representatives Committee on Population and Family Relations passed the divorce law and will soon be debated in the plenary. Will the proposed law stand a chance of getting enacted, considering that the President is reportedly against divorce? A newspaper report in March 2016 quoted him as saying that he was not in favor of divorce for the sake of the children. I confirm that the President in March of 2016 said in a newspaper interview that he was against divorce for the sake of the children, and he is definitely against abortion. I further confirm that the President remains steadfastly against abortion, although I will seek clarification within the day if his position on divorce, and that is he's against divorce, still stands, because this is as of March of 2016, or 2 years ago. From Maylene Alfonso, minority centers demand joint calls for the immediate release of opposition Senator Laila de Lima, who will mark her first year of illegal arrest and unjust detention on Saturday, February 24. Happy first anniversary in detention, Senator Laila de Lima. As to the call of the senators, that's up to the courts. I hope the senators will not politicize our courts. Let our courts function as they should, free from political interference. I'm appealing to the opposition senators, do not influence the judges. From Prince, following the palace ban on Rappler, reporter Pierre Ranada, could this serve as a precedent for other branches of government being covered by Rappler to ban its reporters? We leave it to the other line agencies to determine for their own, on their own, or for their own purpose what to do with Rappler. But the legal position of lawyers in Malacanang is that the SEC ruling clearly said that Rappler is controlled by foreigners, and the position of Malacanang is that it was only the generosity of the President that allowed P. Ranada and Rappler to continue reporting from Malacanang despite the SEC ruling. From Joe Montemayor, baka po may update sa meeting ni PRD with Lucio Tan. Nabasa ko na po yung aking report. From Leo Palio, nag-react ka sa in the report ng US against PRD. Totoo bang na fake news ka? Well, ang aking reaction po dyan, tinanong ako na di umano, sabi ng US Intel report, ang presidente daw ay banta sa demokrasya sa Southeast Asia. Sumagot ako. Pero nung tinignan po namin ang report, sinagot ko rin yung sinabi ng report na magdedeklara daw ng martial law ang presidente sa buong Pilipinas at magdedeklara ng revolutionary government. At sinabi ko nga po, myopic po yung paningin na yan at saka speculative. From Eileen Taliping, Sang-ayon ba ang palasyo sa mungkahi ni House Speaker Alvarez na i-abolish ang UN at sa halip ay magtatag ng UN of Asia para hindi makapasok ang Westerners? Yan po ay personal na opinion ni Speaker Alvarez. Rinirespeto po namin yan. From Rosalie, ano po ang reaksyon ninyo sa ikinasang 1 million signature campaign ng ilang sectors kontra train law at ang ginagawang draft bill ng Makabayan Bloc to repeal train law? Good luck, Makabayan Bloc, on your proposed bill. And it's a free country. You can get even up to 1 billion signatures if you want to. Any further questions? Yes, please.
Sir, follow-up question. With regards sa OWA, doon sa nilapitan ng family ni Joanna de Mafeles, na-identify na po ba natin kung sino yung taga-OWA? At kung sakali na na-identify natin, ano ang sanction ng
Ano ba yung ginawa di umano ng OWA? Hindi ko po alam. Alam ko, yung bagong OWA Deputy Administrator po, naririto na sa bayang ito. No? Sino to yung dating taga-PAGCOR? Si Arnel Ignacio arrived earlier in the day dito, no, sa bahay nila Joanna. So ano ba ho yung sinasabi mong
yung
ginawa ng OWA?
pumunta yung pamilya ni Joanna de Mafeles prior to nakita siya sa loob ng freezer at sabi daw ng pamilya na naipasapasa daw ng OWA, POAA. So na-identify po ba natin ang taong ito sa
Wala pa po
OWA?
akong impormasyon, bagamat ang na-anunsyo po ni Labor Secretary kahapon ay yung dalawang labor attaché natin sa Kuwait at saka yung OWA welfare officer natin ay pinarecall na po niya dahil napakatagal, no, bago sila umaksyon para hanapin kung nasan si Joanna, bagamat na-report na po na nawawala itong si Joanna. Okay?
Sir, good afternoon. Andrew from UNTV, sir. Sir, after po ma-reveal sa Senate yung hearing na ang 196 OFW na namatay sa Kuwait in 3 years, may assistance po ba na natanggap from government ang mga relatives nun?
Ay, sigurado naman po may standard assistance kasi na binibigay. Meron po talagang repatriation assistance at meron po mga death benefits na ibibigay ang OWA.
Yung po sa in case sa mga hindi po nakatanggap, saan po sila maaring
Ay
makalap?
pumunta lang po sila sa OWA. Ngayon pong nandiyan na si Arnel, puntahan niyo po si Arnel Ignacio. Si Arnel Ignacio po, napakataas ang sweldo niya sa PAGCOR bilang isang vice president. Lumipat po talaga siya sa OWA dahil gusto niyang manilbihan sa ating mga kababayang OFWs.
Tsaka isa pa po, sir, may iba pang bansa na maaaring mapunta ng mga OFW na napauwi from Kuwait na gusto ulit mag-abroad, not only for DH or maging skilled or semi-skilled?
Opo, binigyan na po natin ng instruksyon ng lahat ng ating mga diplomatic and consular posts na humanap ng mga alternatibong mga destinasyon para sa ating OFW, yung mga lumagda po sa ILO convention that would protect the rights of our migrant workers. At kasama na po dyan yung bansang Oman at Bahrain kasi wala po halos nagrereklamo dyan sa mga Pilipino nagtatrabaho sa Oman at saka sa Bahrain.
Tsaka isa pa, sir, sa plan po ng government na magpapadala po ng OFW sa Russia, ano po yung...
Pinag-uusapan pa po yan dahil gusto rin ng Russia, gusto rin po ng bansang China na makapagtanggap ng ating mga manggagawa. Pinag-uusapan po ngayon yan ng mga opisyalis ng DOLE, DFA at sa kanilang mga counterparts sa Russia at saka sa China.
Tsaka updates din po sa napauwi po na OFW from Kuwait na kaya pa bang mapauwi lahat ng mga OFW doon, yung mga undocumented?
Yung mga ayaw na pong manatili sa Kuwait, ang pangako ni Presidente, sige po, umuwi kayo, tutulungan natin kayo.
Ano raw po yung naghihintay na trabaho po na pag-uwi nila ng Pinas?
Well, meron naman pong mga oportunidad dito dahil nga dito sa ating Build program at saka meron pong mga training na ibinibigay ang TESDA para dun sa mga bagong uwi po, lalong-lalo na yung galing sa Kuwait.
Regarding naman po sa pag-walkout mo ng mga militante sa Janti bukas, may isa pong in-interview po kasi na militante. Sabi nila na di sila natatakot na ma-kick out. Dapat daw si Presidente Duterte daw i-kick out. Wala po bang lalabagin o pananagutan mga estudyante kasi ongoing class aalis sila?
Well, bahala po sila. Kung gusto nila ma-kick out sila, sayang po yan, lalong-lalo na yung mga nakikinabang sa libreng tuition ng taong 2017. Panawagan lang, huwag sayangin po ang libreng tuition dahil naman nagbabayad ng tuition na para maging libre, yung mga gaya ni Joanna de Mafiles, yung mga nagsusumikap, nagtatrabaho, malayo sa kanilang pamilya, binubuwis ang kanilang mga buhay, at nagbabayad sa pamagitan ng luha at ng kanilang mga dugo. So sana po, huwag natin baliwalain yung sakripisyo ng mga Pilipino na nagbabayad ng buwis para mapag-aral ng libre ang ating mga estudyante sa ating state universities and colleges. Pero karapatan po nila yan, konsyensya po nila yan.
Lastly po, ano po yung option ng pamalaan kung hindi magkapirmahan ang Philippine government at Kuwait regarding po sa OFW reconciliation?
Sa ngayon po, meron tayong absolute deployment ban papunta ng Kuwait.
Thank you.
Salamat po. Kung wala na pong ibang tanong, maraming salamat po sa ating mga kababayan dito sa Iloilo, lalong-lalo na sa municipality ng Sara. Maraming salamat kay Mayor Hermelita Salcedo dahil pinayagan niya tayong gamitin ang kanyang session room, at maraming salamat din kay 1st District Congressman Richard Garin. Papunta na po kami sa bahay ng mga Dimafiles. Salamat po.